can we ever truly understand another culture or even another person? We don't realize how arrogant we are in thinking that we already understand just fine. But we don't. Diving in forces us to clean the slate and start from a place of not knowing.
Enjoga zanume, enjoga zanume, nyelele zanume, doma no gona de riere, wenda manja.
Supported by the University of New Mexico, I spent several summers listening and learning in South Africa before I felt ready to work in other sub-Saharan countries. And then I spent 2 summers listening and learning in Malawi before I felt ready to bring students with me. You do have to prepare yourself and others to be in a place where over half the population lives below the poverty line. More than 1/3 consumes less than the required caloric intake, and 47% of children under 5 are stunted.
Aduenda manja iwe kanjare ogalonga mawarudi rade niwenda manja rade ogantule rade rade iwe wenda manja.
Another day in the life of an African adventure. You just never know what you're going to bump into. This is Father Boucher, priest, artist, anthropologist, and master of diving in. For the past 50 years, he has been creating the Kungoni Center of Culture and Art, a living village abuzz with creative activity, research, and documentation of Malawian art and culture. We're staying at Kungoni in Mtakataka, and one day at the market, Ariel bumps into some deaf kids all talking about their school, which we later discovered was only one of 3 schools for the deaf in the entire country. The next day, we're off on foot trying to find it, and when we finally did, they received us with great enthusiasm and insisted we do art and music with them the following day. I thought they would engage more with the visual art, but when we started playing the instruments together, they literally started jumping for joy. It was as if some percolating fundamental human need had finally been allowed to surface. The need to fill the body with vibrations, to be moved and transformed by this very special thing we call music. Malawi Children's Village is an organization that supports orphans and vulnerable children, those infected or affected by HIV/AIDS, as well as their guardians. The guardians' stories can be quite devastating. One of the women had been recently widowed, leaving her and her 4 children infected with HIV, penniless and starving. When I found out she was also pregnant, that was it. I decided we had to help these women somehow generate some income. I worked with my visual artist colleagues to create a jewelry-making project where dog tags could be transformed into unique and beautiful power tags, empowering the women who created them, the people who purchase and wear them, and the children who will eat and survive because of them. We also facilitated workshops for the community healthcare workers. We used music, dance, and drama to improve self-expression and wellness, communication, and problem-solving. Vincent Sissia, assistant director of the village, commented that in 2015, I was learning from the participants, whereas in 2016, they were learning from one another. The root of all this work lies in the creative encounter, when we meet and join another, with no judgment, no expectation, but at the same time fully intending for something new to be born, some new possibility to open up or emerge. We're at Zomba Mental Hospital, and I'll never forget the art workshop for patients, in which a dignified-looking man stood up at the end and with great concern and passion said, "How is it that in America they treat black people so horribly, and yet today this woman has given us such respect, beauty, and joy?" The whole room stopped breathing for a second, and I felt myself crumbling to my knees, deeply moved, thankful, and in awe of this person and this creative process where even very deep-rooted things can change in a moment. Study abroad allows you to see who you are and who you want to be in the context of a world that is expanding before your very eyes. Mary Oliver asks, "What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" And I wonder, how will you make a difference on this beautiful but troubled planet? Cultural incompetence is a big part of that trouble. We must ask ourselves, how can we learn to understand and appreciate another culture, even another person, if we don't dare to dive into the unknown, the heart of the creative process? It may be cold and wet, confusing and disturbing, but we will discover, we will learn, we will change our lives and the lives of others.
What? Moana. Go Moana na.
Oh no.
The first word is go na.
Go Moana. Leke kulila. Bala